Happy Friday, everybody. Hope you had a great week. Needless to say, another week full of news and action. Make sure you check out Monday's market update from a special location and with the updates on what happened this week and, of course, what we'll be watching next week. Hint, the Fed quiet period's over. Expect a lot of Fed heads to speak, and all of us will be listening whether we want to or not. Today, I want to revisit the tales from the front lines and bring you some planning ideas that I worked on this past week. To keep in line with the conversation over the past month, and that got extra play once the banking crisis started, and yes, it is a crisis depending on who you ask, but what kind of crisis and how much should we worry about it? In my opinion, what you need to do in your cash management plan, as I've been talking about on the Friday videos for the last month, if you want to revisit those, check those out on my YouTube channel. I think in the mode of March Madness, even with Indiana out of the tournament, it's time to play a strong defense, but not just sit in the backcourt and defend the basket. Okay, enough of that analogy. There are actions that you can take, but that action will be to set your portfolio up to defend against the contagion that is being discussed. Though I don't think it will arise to anything more than fear-mongering in today's market, with that fear, opportunity may arise. Call me if you want to talk about that from an investment side. From a cash management side, I talked to many people again this week that are paying for their bank's buildings and lights to be on. That's when you have your hard-earned savings in the bank and they're paying you bubkus. Otherwise, it's known as 0.01%. Please call your bank, look at your statement, or even go online, find out what you're earning. If you have cash that you do not need immediate access to, the current rates are much higher than that 0.01%. They were not a year ago, but they are now. In fact, about 40,000% higher. It's worth a look. Even if you want to go into the U.S. Treasury market, you're talking over 4% on 90-day bonds as of now. That's of course, backed by the full faith and credit of the U.S. government. Okay, enough of the revisit of an old friend, but I'm still having meetings on this daily. So next, let's talk about beneficiaries and conversations I had this week. We've been talking to you all about beneficiaries, and we're going to keep doing that. It is so important, and it does happen too often that someone forgets to change the beneficiary, and when the account owner passes, the ex-spouse inherits the money or gets a life insurance payout. This is not just in divorce situations that we need to look at this. Any special choices that you have for your distribution plan, please help us get these formalized as beneficiaries. The second quarter, about to start, we're going to work on contingent beneficiaries. This is the next in line if your beneficiary predeceases you, and this should be on file also. So please help us when we talk to you about this. Births, deaths, marriages, divorces, these are the trigger events, but there are many, but even just a new estate plan. Okay, enough on that one. I want to talk about an interesting product I saw this week, and although I'm not sure it is the perfect solution, it definitely brings up a good topic. And again, tail from the front line, I find this weekly also. The product is a file box. It's called a knock box, N-O-K, as in next of kin. This product is just a file box, but the system is to help you collect all of your papers and information that you'll need as the N-O-K, the next of kin. In 2023, there are many ways to do this digitally. We can explore that also, including the one that we've spoken about before, which is making sure your loved one has access to your online accounts after your death. Regardless of the paper or digital, this is another good time, spring cleaning time, to collect all your papers, put them in a good fireproof safe or online, and let your NOK know about it. If you want to know what to file away, let's talk about it. I can help you with some checklists to get you started. Last for today, I want to touch on another tale from the front line, this time with home ownership. I read that in a recent survey by Real Estate Witch, which is a real estate education platform, they found that 73% of those that were surveyed said that they had regrets about buying their home. Now, this isn't about, this isn't a pro or con about, what many feel is still the American dream, owning a home. This is always about what I'm talking about, which is planning so that there's no surprises, or at least less surprises. These should be reviewed by the realtor, but if they're not, take note. The regrets come not from location or size of the house, and not even closet space. This is about costs. Here are the responses, just to name a few. 33% were surprised by the property taxes. Now, this should be high on your list. Even when you pay off your house, if you don't pay the taxes, the government tends to get upset about that. 27% by the renovation costs. 27% just about utilities. Another big one that should be listed and discussed early on in the process. There are a lot more, but 23% of homeowners said homeowners insurance, and 19% said the cost of yard work. It's all pretty telling. With mortgage rates at levels not seen in many years, though they're historically not crazy high, the recency bias says what happened to the 3% mortgage? It's gone for now. But even with the rates now, there's still a lot of buying here and abroad. Please take all the costs into consideration. Sort of like buying a car and not understanding that you still have to pay to fill it up with gas, or these days charge it, of course. So the planning for these costs is something I can help you with, but the deep dive into the real estate is for the realtors. I stay in my lane on that one. Okay, that's enough for now. We're getting close to the deadline for IRA contributions, so I'll talk about that next week. For now, I hope you have a great weekend. I'll be back on Monday with a market update. Have a great weekend.